potentially LeBron's last game in this building. How would you characterize his impact on this city and franchise? Well, you can say something just from it's a Donovan Mitchell city now. It's Donovan Mitchell city now. When he come back here, we're gonna make sure that everybody root for him like they did for him. This is done.
So I guess Jalen Tyson is now America's most wanted for neglecting internet darling LeBron James. That's kind of crazy to call LeBron an internet darling. I had like a million things to say about this in my head, but now that I'm recording and pressing play, it's just like, why do you guys care so much? Like, they went all on his Instagram. He had to mute comments. And because he said this, is Donovan Mitchell City now? Like, let him rock. He just had 20 and they blew him out by like 30 something and he shot like 30%. And he's 40! He is old as what the do gotta do to get some emotion around? Damn, Wemby just had like 28 and 16 on a team that everybody deemed was going to be a contender in the West for sure. And all I turned into podcast after podcast. I'm pretty sure it's on First Take. My whole basketball content for the day was, how do we feel about the LeBron tribute? Salute, bro. We get it. He's the best player to ever play the game. He's done everything imaginable. Every feat we said he could not do, he did it. There is a tweet that surfaces that he's not going to be doing this for much longer because he's 30 and he's 40 still doing it. He's remarkable, alright? But can we please? Anyhow, though, this is the news of the day. Giannis Antetokounmpo is ready for a new home at the trade deadline or in the off season. Honestly, two things I want to say. But first, I want to attack this from Giannis' side of things. I totally understand how he's felt that there has not been much motion going on in Milwaukee, and there's not so much of a direction pointing towards contending anytime soon due to the ramifications of what's happened since the 2021 championship. They've lost Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton. Brook Lopez got older, so he had to eventually go as well. They haven't been able to get a marquee player aside from Damian Lillard, and obviously tore his Achilles. And even when they were playing, there was on the court issues. The defense dropped. The offense didn't rise at levels that people assumed they would attain to with how dynamic Giannis and Damian Lillard are as individual talents and where they were at that time point in their careers. Damian Lillard was averaging 30, taking the league by storm. Highlights every week about Damian Lillard doing something crazy, and then he comes to Milwaukee and you get some of the essence, but it didn't flow the same way. Neither Giannis or Dame were on the same page, peaking at the same time to attain levels that can get them to the championship. So now we're here, and we're now a year removed from basically a year removed. I mean, we're like, about 9 months from the playoffs last year when the tragic Achilles injury happened to Damian Lillard. And this is the aftermath of it. Signing Miles Turner obviously wasn't enough, but the Milwaukee Bucks had to do something to entertain the idea that they are trying to aspire to make this roster better going forward. And it just isn't something that has worked out in Giannis' favor. Now, as far as the organization goes, and this is where player empowerment kind of loses me. I'm going to talk about both aspects, whether you're trying to acquire Giannis at this point in time or you're the Milwaukee Bucks trying to ship him. Here's the reality of the situation. Since the 2021 NBA championship that they won, put Giannis at all-time levels. Giannis has not necessarily been healthy throughout these postseason matchups, which is a big reason why him and Dame weren't able to peak at the right time. If it wasn't a Dame injury, it was a Giannis injury. Both of them hurt, or we get like 2 games of them where the ebbs and flows of the season were still going forth, so they couldn't play together. That's a Giannis thing. That has nothing to do with what we could have possibly did for you as a player, or who we could have possibly brought along. You are not playing, and you are the franchise player. You gotta play these games, and you gotta be able to give your best efforts on both ends of the court. Be the DPOY, the facilitator, the 30-point game. Be the all-around Swiss knife that we're deeming you to be. People think Giannis is a better talent than Tim Duncan, for Christ's sake. So, I mean, whether this era is harder or not, though, we're expecting him to show up at least past April, at least make it to May, where we're watching you in conference championships, and that just hasn't happened. Also, another thing I want to point out is that Giannis has had the coaching situation played in his favor. Budenholzer didn't work, so they got him up out of there. Canned, right? Rightfully so or not, he was canned. He didn't gel with the locker room, whatever the situation may be. They bring in Adrian Griffin. Brook Lopez is mad about how he has to guard drop coverages because he's sinking too low in the drop coverage to AG. And AG's like, yo, man, I need you to show a little bit harder on this. I know it's called drop, but we can't just have you down there in the trenches, in the paint. You're leaving too many middies. We're leaving too many shots, and we're already a middling defense as it is. I'm giving too much sweet for my sugar. We can't let them shoot threes. We can't let them get to the paint. And on top of that, have the midi. We gotta stop something, and something's gotta give. If I'm playing this drop coverage, it's because I want them to try and make hard moves to the basket and cut off all of this space in the middle, right? That's his philosophy in gun drop. And whether that's normally the principle the NBA follows or not, this is the circumstances that supposedly, according to reports, that Adrian Griffin wanted to have executed. It was problematic. Giannis didn't agree with how he should play in drop coverage. Brook Lopez didn't agree with how they should play in drop coverage. Despite the fact that they were 30 and 13, out of there. They bring in Doc. Doc was doing side quest missions on ESPN, but while at the same time on the phone with Giannis every other day, talking about what he would do and yada yada yada, how he would have his team look like, and then it didn't even manifest to a first round win. They couldn't beat the Pacers. What can the organization? They have 3 coaches already on payroll because of him. Even if they want to fire Doc Rivers, the reality of the situation is he is taking a lot of our bread, and we already had this rant on my channel about the whole salary cap and the second apron and managing money, and these owners is looking like, hey, what can you provide for me with the dollars that you get distributed? What's this getting to me? I could just get somebody cheaper and make them do the same thing. Get a lot of the kids and make them do the same thing. We can just go through this process without having to pay you all these amps. So, why am I going to go seek something super when Kevin Porter, we good. He just dropped 50 on Drew a couple years prior. Kevin Porter, can you get your act straight for a little bit? For sure, you good. Come in. Why I gotta open up my pockets? We're on our 3rd coach, and gratefully for them, it's like the 4th or 5th season. But it was at one point 3 coaches in 3 years, and from Bud to Adrian Griffin to Doc Rivers, and they're all getting paid. So it's like, dang, dog. Like, we're expending a lot of this money. They gonna tax us if we don't chill. So what is there more to do for Giannis? At some point, you have to be the player that we deem him to be. It's people on the internet saying he's better than Tim. He's better than Hakeem. Shaq will go on inside the NBA, he'll go on these podcasts that he own or whatever, or hosting or what, special guesting, whatever, and he'll go say, Giannis is a better talent than me. Giannis is a better talent than me. If he a better talent than Shaq, dog. Hey, look here. Wherever you go, I better see some results exponentially change a team's dynamic. Oh, it's gonna be some conversations that you had. We gonna have to start talking about it in a different light. I mean, shout out to the peak and the eras, but is it just the ebbs and flows at this point? I don't know. Talking about it from the other side of things, from the other organization, I know it's ideal for him to go to a team like San Antonio, but San Antonio don't want to lose all them assets. Like I keep reiterating, dog, if we're gonna pay you 50, 60 M's, we already the second seed. What more could you possibly do for us? If you come to our team, we need you to guarantee us multiple championships. We need to generate that revenue somehow, some way. We need to be getting the chili beans. We need to reap the benefits of your presence on this roster, on this organization. I can't nuke half my team. You gonna be a free agent in 2028? What's he got, like 1 more year left in his deal? I'ma just chill, wait. We're gonna rack up these wins. We're gonna rack up this playoff revenue. We're gonna sell these tickets. We're gonna sell you on these young players. We're going to win these 50 games, whether you here or not, because let's be honest, the one thing we're not talking about is how Giannis hasn't been healthy when needed the most. And he's going through another calf strain, and whether that's because he wants to get traded or if it's a temporary tantrum like other people suggest, you know, NBA players don't want to play games all of a sudden, right? NBA players don't want to play games, fine, cool, but it's been a whole track record now of his injuries adding up. These knick-knacking injuries have been adding up. He's messed up his knee. He's messed up quads. He's messed up. He's messed up. He's been messed up. He's been hurt. He's been hurt, dog. From OKC, what am I trading Chet for? I gotta trade Chet Holmgren. I gotta trade maybe Jalen Williams, one of the two, or maybe even both. I gotta give up all my assets. But what? We won the championship. We are NBA champions. If I'm the Detroit Pistons, I have to give up what? For why? Why am I giving up stuff? Do you see where we're at? We're the trenches, dog. We got dogs with us. We're bringing the culture back. The last thing I need is somebody coming in and throwing his fists and prima donna attitudes because he feels like the play style is not going the right way, or because he feels like the momentum the coach is having and the things he's suggesting is not up to par with what he sees for his own vision of how basketball should be played. Hey, look, dog, something gotta give. The Knicks thing sounds cute. The Knicks already nuked their roster for Mikal and their assets for Mikal Bridges. What picks are they going to trade? What picks could they possibly give up? They gave all of that away for OG and Mikal. Not to mention their star player, their best player, already took a cut. He already took a pay cut. Jalen Brunson is already missing out on damn near 100 M's to sustain that roster as it is. What could they possibly cap Miles McBride, and where are they going to pull the picks from? From the 4th grade lottery? Where that's Milwaukee's trying to fix it now. If you ideally you want to fix it as soon as possible. You don't want to trade for something that's like 2035, and they've already given up 4 picks for Mikal and more picks for OG. They don't have anything to give for real, but players. And it's like, go to respect, bro. Do I really just want Cat? I don't want to be the Timberwolves of the 2017 era, bro. I don't want to be them. Why? Warriors. What are they gonna give? What are they gonna give? Draymond Green, 4 minutes of homework? Or if they offer, or this me, they pick up the phone and they talk about like, hello? Yeah, we got you. We got Draymond Green. We got doop. Hang up the phone. I got Draymond Green. I got doop. What are we picking up the phone for? So, this rant is to say, bro, who cares? Because let's be honest, dog. If it's really about the loyalty gimmick that Giannis has, he would just play this contract out and nuke all the shenanigans that's already going. He's either doing this because he wants something to happen out of God, something that's in God's hands. That's something happening in Milwaukee. Godspeed. They already got Dame. You pull out the damn thing. Woo, whoosh. I don't know how you did that. Hey, God bless. You do that one, cool. But to be honest with you, dog, get your numbers. Show you still a star in the league. Get right. Focus on getting right, because neglecting the fact that you haven't been right for these past few postseasons. If you just focus on getting right, you pulling them B, right? I got my grievances with the big fella. And B focusing on getting his John right. He making sure his knees straight. He's taking the training staff's notes into consideration. He's following protocol. He's showing up healthier. He's not the defensive player he once was, but he's getting up to speed offensively, and he's still finding a way to put his footprint in on games. And Giannis can do that. He's already been doing it, but dog, he's time and time again throughout this stint since the championship also have missed games, and it's not like, what is the Bucks supposed to do? A lot of unfortunate things happen, and if you're not gonna stay true, at least honor your contract, dog, because you have this whole gimmick of being that. And honestly, suck it up. It is what it is. I mean, or get your bread, go where you want to. That's cool too. But the reality of this situation is a team that's already contending and already competing at a high level, night in and night out. It's not about to trade for you right now. It's not gonna happen, and it might happen in the off season. But at that point, you're going to nuke the team that you're going to go on. And the reality of the situation is, if you're not right, if you don't get yourself straight, I'm not even talking about your mental or anything. I'm talking about the fact that you've had these injuries that have kept you out of postseason games, which is very vital for a team who's trying to contend, as is. Though if you're not just focusing on getting right and getting up to speed, bro. And I wish, bro, speedy recoveries. I wish these knick-knack injuries become less of a reoccurring thing, but he's hitting out of timeline, dog. He's hitting that timeline. It sucks. I wish this was a topic point for others that have the actual voice in media, but I mean, it is what it is. I mean, we're just gonna get the novice. Oh, Giannis will make this team look good. Oh my God, this team look good. And I talk about the reality of what basketball really entails and how at the end of the day, dog, like, honor your contracts. I understand when organizations are neglectful. I understand that the game is a greasy game, but Milwaukee's bringing Giannis on the team constantly for you, bro. Just honor your contract. Everything has been set in stone for you. Ready for a new home? Dog, just honor your contract. They haven't done nothing wrong by you.